What's up, guys? So I really wish this was a horror movie review. Like I said in my last video that I was excited to do for the month of October and Halloween. But the thriller movie that just came out, The Snowman, I heard was just horrible and boring and just an overall mess. Plus the lead character's name in The Snowman is, in all seriousness, Harry Hole. How can I take a movie that's not a comedy seriously with the lead character's name being Harry Hole? So instead of that, here is a review for Geostorm. Enjoy. So Geostorm takes place in the very near future here on Earth, and in this near future, the weather conditions have gotten catastrophic all over the world. So a huge series of satellites is built on the International Space Station to be able to control the weather. But one day, many things start to go wrong, and the guy that initially came up with the idea and helped build this is called in to help repair it. But something else might be going on than what's on the surface, and it might be a sabotage. So this is your typical ridiculous, over-the-top disaster movie with a whodunit subplot that is just an enjoyable popcorn flick that you don't have to think too hard with. And if you know that going into this movie, and you're able to just turn off your brain for a little bit, I think you'll enjoy this movie like I did. So like I said, I enjoyed this movie, so let's get into the things I liked, because there's more of that than there is of what I didn't like. So one of the first things that stuck out to me was, I liked how in this movie they didn't change the president to a woman just for the hell of it, like they did in the new Kingsman movie, because they were obviously pissed that Hillary Clinton didn't win the election. Another thing I liked, and probably the biggest component to this whole movie, is the CGI. The CGI was all really good. This movie was directed by Dean Devlin. I think he was the producer of Independence Day, so it was pretty much almost guaranteed that it was going to have CGI that was just as good or better as Independence Day 1 and 2. Some of the CGI, I will say, did look a tad unfinished, but other than just a couple of instances, it looked pretty good. Let's talk about the acting now. This movie stars Gerard Butler, and I thought he did just fine. These kinds of action movies, you can tell from his track record, are kind of his bread and butter. So you can tell that he just has a lot of fun acting in these kinds of movies, and it shows in this movie too. The little girl from Annabelle Creation played Gerard Butler's daughter, and I actually thought she was really good in this movie. In my opinion, from the acting that I've seen from her so far from Annabelle Creation and now this movie, I think she's going to go pretty far in this industry. And Zazie Beetz is in this movie. She plays a expert hacker named Dana, and this is honestly the first thing I've seen her in. I've never seen the TV show Atlanta. I think that's where she's famous from. But having never seen it, I don't know how she is in that show. But I can tell you in this movie, she was actually pretty funny. And I'm glad she made a good impression on me in this movie, because it just makes me even more excited to see her as Domino in Deadpool 2 now. Everyone else didn't stick out to me as much as those three did, but the rest of them still did pretty well too. The guy who played Gerard Butler's little brother, Ed Harris, the guy who played the president, all of them did fine. Let's get into some of the technical stuff now. I actually liked the camera work in this movie. I was happy it wasn't just another disaster movie that was bogged down with shitty nausea-inducing shaky cam. For the most part, you could see what was happening the whole time. And the shots, the lighting, and the cinematography, they didn't jump out to me as anything groundbreaking and unique, but they were still pretty good. Okay, now let's get into the couple of things that I didn't like about this movie. One of the things I didn't like was anyone with a basic knowledge of how physics work might have a little bit of a hard time suspending their disbelief for some of the things that happen in this movie. And also, some people might be a little put off and annoyed with some of the political messages in this movie, mainly climate change, if they don't agree with some of that stuff. But other than those two things, I thought this was a perfectly enjoyable popcorn movie that you could just turn your brain off and have fun with at the movies. I'm going to give Geostorm a B. Alright guys, expect me to get back to more horror movie reviews next week for the Halloween season, because next week, the new Saw movie, Jigsaw, comes out, and I'm excited to see where they take the franchise. Alright guys, that's it for now. Like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.